Welcome to my channel everyone. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc. So over 100 tokens are tradable without any kind of fees, and here you can see a huge list of popular altcoins which you can trade. And for the other coins which aren't on that list, you have to pay a small amount of fees. And if you want to save there 20%, then you can use my referral link, which you can find in the video description. So let's just start with SUI. So for SUI, we have said that this whole movement looks, I would say corrective within a rising wedge. The thing is, with the push which we got up here, we invalidated this chart pattern. So I can take this one out of the chart, and this trend line is going to get white, and I can also take the target out of the chart now. So what do I think for SUI right now? So I think that we have developed an head and shoulders formatation. So I would be very careful right now. I am in long positions. I'm willing to leave them once the $3.42 breaks to the downside, because if we just take the length of one shoulder, which is the least bearish target, it would already get us into the purple box. But it is not 100% safe that this support box is also going to hold. You can see it in the past that this box was a support box. We got price pumps to the upside. Here as well, we went into that purple box. We got a push. We went here, if we zoom in, also into the purple box. We got a small bounce, but we also lost the purple box. So in the end of the day, once we lose that purple box, it's going to get resistance. So then we get from the downside to the upside into the purple box. We sell off. Same here. Resistance. Sold off. Same here. Resistance. Sold off. Same here. Resistance, sold off. That's why I would be very careful, because we just took the least bearish target. What if we take the maximum bearish target of that chart pattern and we put it here to the downside? Then it's showing me $3.22, and if $3.22 is lower than $3.30, that would mean that we are going to break the purple box to the downside, and afterwards it's going to get resistance. And then we can easily sell off into the price mark of $3.08. So that's why I would be careful. For now, just because we have bearish chart patterns on the chart, it doesn't mean that they are going to get activated. They have to break to the downside first. Like I said before, we even had right here a rising wedge. This rising wedge never got activated. We invalidated it by an impulsive push. So basically, I went into a long trade, and I have taken it because this sell-off which we have seen here was based on the attack from Israel on some Hamas here key leadership position, or I don't know who it was, but in the end of the day, they shot a rocket into Qatar. This was the sell-off. I have talked in detail in the Bitcoin update about this, about my speculation, just here very short and very briefly. I personally think that this was kind of planned. The USA most likely knew about this attack. And Qatar also has an air defense system which worked 2 or 3 months ago against Iran, because Iran also wanted to attack the US military base, which is in Qatar, and the attack failed because of the air defense system from Qatar. So basically, this air defense system didn't work, or didn't even react at the time when Israel attacked. And in my opinion, an air defense system, it can also fail. It can fail to defend and rockets can still attack. So basically, if the air defense system would have do something, at least try to defend it, then I know, hey, Qatar didn't want that attack. But since it was shut off and did nothing, who shut it off? That's the question which I ask. And in the end of the day, I think there is not any war going on between Qatar and Israel. I think, in my opinion, it's planned from both sides, and both sides agreed to that. What you in the media is always, in my opinion, media is very weird. Yeah, they lie a lot, in my opinion. But in the end of the day, we have to think about that. The price chart, I always say, political news, you can see them before they happen because of the chart. The chart is always a replication from big whales, billionaires, multimillionaires, huge companies. We are not affecting the market. Even if I trade $100,000, millions of dollars in cryptos, I won't do any kind of impact into the market. The real impact happens from governments, from institutions, from like huge companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan. They are doing the chart. And if the chart looks bullish while we have war in the world, then those people already know the future most likely, and they bet on, based on their information which they have, for example, for peace agreements, for example, and they know them before they even get published. So basically, that's why I trust more into chart patterns and chart development instead of waiting for the news and try to trade the news. So in the end of the day, everything looks good to me for SUI. We broke in orange this falling wedge to the upside. We got our sell-off from the attack from Israel to Qatar, this one right here. This didn't even were near to invalidate this chart pattern. So I can still expect, even though we have this kind of possible bearish chart pattern, this head and shoulders formation, even if we break it to the downside, this can just be a second retest of the falling wedge, and we can still get higher prices. So for now, $3.52, if they break to the upside and I see a breakout retest, not like this is not a breakout and retest. We had the chance for a breakout, but the retest failed by far. What I want to see is some candle closes at the support, so I know here this support is going to work and most likely won't break to the downside. Then I would increase my position size for SUI if the $3.60 breaks to the upside with the retest, and this is always the dream scenario, that we get many breakouts, inclusively a retest, so we can always increase our position size. So we have a higher leverage, which is also getting saved by setting our stop loss always at break even, because we are always in profits. So then I think next target, $3.88. This is also the target of the falling wedge. If we now look over Avalanche, for Avalanche we have set breakout, retest, follow through. This was our overall market performance here, which we wanted to see. Then we got the breakout right here, and what we wanted to see is a retest. This retest, I uploaded the video, and this retest happened 1 hour later, then another retest, then another retest. So we had so many times, and this is what I want to see, several retests on that support. So I know the $25.12, they are support. Follow through. Afterwards, yes, okay, we got a lower retracement, but in the end of the day, look where the price is right now. Looks bullish to me. And we are currently in another breakout, retest. And what I see right now is for Avalanche, we don't have an overlapping structure anymore. So maybe we can see it somewhere. Like here, in this market stage. You can see that we always got higher highs in the chart. But the thing is that in this market stage, we got, for example, the breakout. We got a retracement. Here we got a breakout over the top right here. But the retest or the pullback was not at this level. We got a far lower retracement, and the same happened here again, and the same happened here again. This is an overlapping structure. What we see right now is we get our breakout, we get our retest, we get another breakout, we get a retest at the same level as the top. And this can continue like that. So this is impulsive, in my opinion. And my target is still ongoing, $26.91. Once we break that price mark to the upside, then I have the target $30 on the chart. I think even since weeks that we should go there once we break certain price marks to the upside, especially the $26.91. Then I think we are going to see that target, and then we have to see if we are going to get higher prices, for example $38.30. This would be the maximum extension, but my first focus would be the $30 for Avalanche. What I would see as negative would be breaking the $25.15 to the downside sustainable right now, because that would mean that we are going to sell off sharp. Then we would also lose the impulsive structure to the upside, and then we can get lower prices for sure. That's not my preferred scenario at the moment. So I'm seeking for higher prices for Avalanche. And the same goes for HBAR. For Solana, we have said that we are actually in a bearish chart pattern, in a bigger one. HBAR was also in a bearish chart pattern. For example, this bear flag. This bear flag got invalidated. Breakout, retest. That's what we have drew right here. And what you can see is impulsive push to the upside. So we just got, I think, a third retest. So I count this one as one retest, here a second retest, and here the third retest. I'm also in an HBAR long trade, even very over leverage in this case. Also here, the chance is, let me just take this one out of the chart. So this symbolized breakout, retest, follow through. So I can take this one out of the chart. So basically, left shoulder, head, and a possible right shoulder. We don't know it yet if the green candle is going to get very bullish and gets us into, for example, 23.2 cents, for example, in this area. Then this head and shoulders formatation would get invalidated, most likely, in my opinion. Otherwise, we always have to say the breakout point currently would be the $22 and the 22.5 cents. If they break to the downside, then we can work off the length of one shoulder, which would get us into the center line of the old bear flag, which got invalidated for sure. But as long as we don't break it to the downside, and I don't even want to use the orange trend line, I will still stick to the upper part of the old bear flag. So I will use the bear flag as support. You can see it how often we bounced on that upper part of that bear flag. So basically this was resistance in the past, now it's support. So I would actually wait for the $22 and so why do I always say that? 22.45 cents. So basically if we lose this support to the downside, then I also want to be out of my long trade for HBAR. And my average price is currently in this area. So the positive part would be, let's see if it's on the 4-hour chart or if we can see it on a 1-hour chart. Yes, 1-hour chart works. Perfect. falling wedge. We didn't break it to the upside yet. So in bright blue, the bright blue trend line is currently at 23.25 cents. If we break it to the upside, target in my opinion is going to be the 25.4 cents to 25.8 cents. There we have an resistance box. If we also break the resistance box to the upside, then I just have to adjust the target of the falling wedge, and it's going to show me 28.9 cents. I will also give you here the price mark so you can see it. But in the end of the day, we have here another resistance, which is this green trend line. So taking profits in that purple box would be very smart, especially for me because I'm over leveraged. 27.7 cents is going to be my next take profit, because I actually don't care if I took the trade right here. So I don't care if I go for 22 point, let's even say 23% profits, or if I go for 28% profits. Yeah, for sure there are 5% between that, but we always have the chance to get there and then sell off. And then I'm still waiting for the target here, and then my profits are gone. So that's why I will rather take 23% profits without leverage instead of waiting and hoping for the 28.8 cents getting in play, with the chance that we might not see them after we get this kind of push and then the altcoin season. So we have to see for HBAR. So far it looks pretty good to me, as long as we don't lose the bear flag support at the price mark of 22.45 cents. Moving to Dogecoin. So for Dogecoin we had scenarios, two scenarios. The first one was that we are going to see another retest of the falling wedge. I can show you the falling wedge. You can see it here in orange. This was the falling wedge, which also broke to the upside and it got its retest. If we zoom in, then you can see it. Here was the breakout, here was the retest. So I looked into the 50 minutes chart and I saw here a bullish pennant. It broke to the upside, but we didn't get into the target of the bullish pennant. We just took the target of the triangle. We put it here to the breakout point, and you can see we went there. We got a bigger retracement, but also we broke the purple box to the upside. So the other plan was that we are not going to see the retest of, let's say, the second retest of the falling wedge, means the orange trend line. The other scenario was that we are directly go into the purple box, and this was the case. You can see that we have issues breaking it to the upside. I also don't want to say that we have here some kind of head and shoulders formatation, because what should I do here? The angle doesn't look good to me. So basically I don't identify this one as an head and shoulders formatation, even though if we look from this perspective, for example, it still looks like one. So as long as we don't lose the purple box sustainable, and here's the price mark, it is currently the 23.9 cents. If we lose it sustainable to the downside, where we also get a follow through lower than the low right here, then I would say, hey, we have the good chance selling off even into this small fair value gap, which is at the price mark of 22.9 to 22.85 cents for Dogecoin. Otherwise, we always have to keep in mind that we can still get higher prices. The target of the falling wedge, I have to adjust it a little bit, but it's not going to make a huge difference. So it is going to be the 26.8 cents for Dogecoin. I would also say we have a resistance at 26 cents. So basically taking profits once we get to 26 cents is not going to be the worst decision in my opinion. We also have said here, this whole market stage looked to me like a rectangle. With the push which we got, we went to the target, so I can take this one out of the chart, and this trend line is going to get wide now because this chart pattern already worked. So everything looks good to me right now, even though we have some bad news from based on the attack from Israel to an Hamas member in Qatar. So I still look for higher prices for sure. If we are going to sell off, if we are going to break my key levels to the downside, then I'm ready to take the loss for my long trades. And then we have to look in the future if we are going to find more opportunities to get into trades. But for now, I still expect higher prices in the next days for all the cryptos. So we see each other in the Render Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.